everybody. How are you doing? Thanks for pressing play. Welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast. And thanks Phoenix Light for sponsoring this week's show. The best design comes from the actual need of users. Phoenix takes providing mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Never forget where you started and your mission can be accomplished.
I had some dog walk kudos this morning. Did you check out other dog walkers' head torches
Gary,
or their torch etiquette?
If I see a car, it's an excitement around here. I would never see anyone else out at the crack-ass where I am.
I think I won the battle. The Phoenix HP12 or -T
Straight in their
version 2.
eyes. Straight in their eyes.
With that little tilt feature, incredible. You can guide it down to the trail as people come towards you. But yeah, I definitely got some kudos. And I wish there was some kind of platform where people could share their thoughts with other like-minded individuals. Maybe you could call it like video tube, view, something along those lines. I don't know. What would you call it?
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Well, basically, I'm doing... I'll start on this again. I was trying to do like a rubbish link to our YouTube review for the head torch.
I was like... This is YouTube. What's he talking about? No, keep it in. It's real.
Go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube. Yeah, because a couple of people, it's head torch season, and a couple of people jumping into my DMs, WhatsApps, anyway they can find me, hassling me on that number. It's the V2 basically. I think we should just call it the Phoenix V2. That's the one we like the best. That's the one that's on our head that leaves the imprint for the school run every day. That's why I have to wear my bobble hat now. I
did put my hand up and say I'll do one this week, which is quite unusual. Normally I'm quite resistant.
It was a lovely story. I enjoyed hearing all about your race, and
your face suggests a different story.
Did it? What did I go into facial collapse? Was I just
when I was watching back? What YouTube
give it to me. Show me. Was it like, yeah, it's just facial collapse? That's the time to go home, Eddie. Chase his car.
It is quite bruising, honestly. It is. Anyone who does this content creation, hearing your own voice week on, week out is quite a unique experience. But when you edit your own episode...
Oh, yeah.
Tough.
Oh, I just listened to a tiny bit of ours and I was like, oh, my voice is so piercing. It's so loud. Oh, it's enough. I think as well, though, when we do, we've done a lot of Zoom this week. And I think when we have guests, we keep the face fully engaged because we're like encouraging them to keep talking without making any noise ourselves. So we're like nodding and showing interest. But we don't need to do that with each other because you're just talking and I'm literally listening to it like I would a podcast, thinking, where's he going with this? And so there's not a lot going on in the face. I enjoyed your story.
Oh, thank you, Eddie. So we did an interview, we did a brew with the coaches, then we did the episode, and then we did my chat. So it was the end of probably...
No wonder Eddie was allowed to have a bit of downtime. We haven't told everybody, but if you are in market for a head torch, your patrons, you can get 10% off, and you just listening now, you can get % off with the code TNT5. Pop over to www.phoenixlight.co.uk. What do we say? Buckle up, strap in, lace up. Here's Gary's chat. Lean in, because my voice is so quiet. Here's Gary's, and you say that like, oh, you don't like telling the story, but it's really nice for one of us to have a race report that was like, tried this, it worked, happy, bang, rather than trauma, drama.
Well, the trauma does add a little bit of icing on any story, doesn't it?
I know, but let's face it, we don't need any more of that right now. It's nice just to have a bit of a smooth road. So, settle in. Here's Gary's Seven Valley story.
Freddo Fox. Okay, Freddo was invented in 1930 by Harry Melbourne, an 18-year-old employee of Mac Robertson's, an Australian confectionery company. Originally, they considered a chocolate mouse, but Melbourne argued kids and women might be afraid of mice. So the frog-shaped Freddo was born. Freddo hopped over to the UK in 1973 and quickly became a childhood favourite. I wonder if Harry, 1930, could visualise how important the Freddo was as a bit of sports nutrition.
I don't remember Freddos in my childhood, though, do you?
But it was withdrawn, so this is probably why we missed it.
Oh, okay, we missed it.
So even though it was really popular, it was withdrawn in 1979, but then reintroduced in 1994, so we were
We absolutely missed that when you're going to the sweet shop. What did you buy in a sweet shop when you went to the sweet shop? Or you had like a little...
We used to buy little half-penny chews, so you got 2 for 1. Did you remember that?
Yeah.
Lucky bags. I used to love a lucky bag.
Oh, yeah. And do you remember I used to get those sucky sweets that were half custard, half rhubarb and covered in sugar? I still eat those now. Love those. I
love the dibs where you'd like a sherbet dab, whatever it's called.
Those are still my kids' crack if they get one of those. Get those in the back of the car.
Oh, you get that little kind of crunchy sugar hit.
Wamba, yeah. How many Freddos do you reckon you ate?
It's got to be 20. I'm pretty... maybe 20. That's probably more like 15. I was chomping them quite merrily. At least 1 an hour. Yeah, and a Freddo every
Incredible Freddo action. I love it. Well, we all know when we're doing the Northern Traverse, we just sidle up to and just put the hand out and go, yes,
it's at times already. I finished them all off and a few tonics. I made myself feel a bit sick yesterday. I had about 3 Freddos. One's not enough, is it? 3 Freddos, and then I went in for the tonics afterwards with a cuppa.
That is amazing that you put your hand back in the cookie jar that early. I'd still be on savoury snacks. You're an animal.
How much do you think a Freddo costs these days? The humble Freddo. What do you think? It's quite a bone of contention. It's a mark of inflation.
Well, isn't it cheaper?
Apparently.
Isn't it? I thought it was 10p at some point. Some people have found it for 10p, haven't they?
Well, a long time ago. Currently, 2025, 35p a Freddo.
Which is literally like... But it must be one of the cheapest things you can buy in the supermarket.
Probably cheaper to buy a can of lager or something, isn't it? Than it is a Freddo, some home brand lager. I didn't even realise this, though, but you can buy them in caramel, strawberry and peppermint too. I just thought they were one-trick pony.
Gone too deep. The sooner you get back to training, the better.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy my little chat about the Seven Valleys journey. I didn't really give my Fantastic Four, my band of brothers that we went over with, much of a shout out in my selfish tale. Myself, Chris, Liam and Aaron went over there. Liam bagged himself a top 10 finish too. Kudos.
When I was looking at open tracking, I was like, is that Gary's Liam? Because he's smashing it. He's young, isn't he? He's young.
Oh, to be 30.
He's still got collagen.
But yeah, he had a fantastic run. Top 10, heavy flex.
Settle in, everybody. Do your laces up, tack up the ponies, brush away the leaves, hold that last pair of pants, sort that
You've not done the admin
out.
with me. We might do a hard pivot. If the dog's bark, don't worry.
The dog that, if you need the
Your
loo,
trauma doesn't have to be our content.
But we all want to hear all the deets. And so we also have to start our show, Gary. I don't know if you've listened to the podcast. How many times do you listen to the podcast before you release it into the Spotify world?
Wow, goodness me. So obviously together when we do the recording.
Are you listening when we're doing that? I sometimes think you zone out.
Sketchy. Checking BBC Sports. I used to listen to it so at least 3 times before it's released. And then I used to listen to it once it was released. I just can't bring myself to anymore.
3 times.
The edit could easily take me a day. So I've heard all the ums and the ahs.
Oh, yeah. You're the worst. But you just have to edit because I talk too much. I don't make
I edit out all my clearing of my throat.
I think I'm pretty clear.
You never clear your throat. Yeah, it's incredible. I don't know how you manage that.
Lube.
I'll quite often stutter into the point that I'm trying to make. Then I'll actually say the word.
Oh, I don't notice that. But if I was listening, I might notice that.
It all goes, listeners, the magic of the edit. I'll leave some in there so it sounds organic, real. Keeping it real.
Well, when you've had enough and you want to go and do your session, you're like,
basically, yeah. I'll start leaving all the ums and the ahs in. Do you want to hear my AI intro?
Oh, gosh, you've done it yourself. Well, there's no delusion, as my mum says.
It's not that exciting. Welcome to Miles and Mishaps with Gary Thwaites. I just put in Gary Thwaites. I thought sometimes you can nudge AI with Gary Thwaites runner, Gary Thwaites podcast, blah, blah, blah.
International legend. Did you pop that in?
Just put in Gary Thwaites to see if it actually knew who I was. Where trail shoes get muddy, stories get wild, and the only thing more unpredictable than an ultramarathon is the conversation. They got that wrong, haven't they? I'm your host, Gary, ultra runner, storyteller, and professional laugh at my own mistakes guy. This is terrible. Each week we dive into the highs, the lows, and hilarious, questionable decisions that come from chasing big miles and building even bigger communities. From gear reviews that don't pull any punches to tales of race day chaos and unexpected kindness. This is your front row seat to the endurance world's most entertaining corner. So lace up. It loves to lace up and lean in. So lace up, lean in, and let's get moving, because every mile has a story and every mishap deserves a microphone.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't.
Then it's actually asked me, do you want a version that's more reflective or geared towards interviews, or one that highlights your podcasting chops and partnerships? I can tailor fit it to your next episode or theme. It is absolutely incredible. I've become so lazy with AI.
Well, don't please, because I know when the kids do their homework with AI and they bring me an incredible story and I say, what does authentic mean? And they say,
and we've had 4 minutes of content thanks to AI. Fantastic. But I headed over Friday. I did the volunteers brief. It was very slick, well organized. I saw lots of listeners as I hustled my way through registration. Kit check. Wow, Eddie, being on the other side of the table, that is as stressful as being a participant too. We had to fail some items.
What did you fail?
I failed a waterproof jacket and some insulated jackets. I had Kate Worthington with me, luckily. So what they do, if anyone's thinking, oh goodness me, registration sounds like a real stressful job to do. Can't speak for every race, but on the 13 Valleys, I was chaperoned, luckily, by Kate Worthington. She was my guardian angel. So if there was some doubts with the kit, you could turn around and talk to an expert.
Like a sort of trainee GP, basically. You were like,
Yes.
I'm going to need to take this to my superior. This
Yeah.
strange itch.
But then Joe was around if any situations needed escalating. We had a vented pits. That was a contentious point. So we sent somebody away. We failed the vented pits. So it wasn't fully insulated. It was.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I get that was fair enough, wasn't it?
But to the letter of the law of the kit, it was fully insulated. So there was some that just were not an insulated jacket, almost like what I've got here. It's like one layer of Primaloft, but it's not insulated, like a sandwich. Some that just were like a fleece. Some that had the kind of stretchy sides. I don't think anyone was like trying it on. It was just maybe not appreciating what a fully insulated jacket was like. But yeah, luckily this guy was off to buy a new insulated jacket in Keswick and Joe saved him at the last minute. But yeah, definitely one person had to go and buy a waterproof jacket.
Oh, that is a lot of money to suddenly have to. But he would have needed it because, God, that weather closed in, didn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness me. They would have been so thankful of that. And then 2 people to memory at least had to go and buy a fully insulated jacket. So yeah, super, super stressful. And not on reflection, I don't think being on my feet was great prep for 110k race. But I kept telling myself this was like, it wasn't a free race, but free from a mental load point of view. I had 0 performance goals. The goal for me basically was don't be sick, less faff compared to last year's 13 Valleys. And if I'm going to be sick, try and manage that better. Garmin is now peaking. I am pumped.
You are pumped.
Awful sleep on Friday night. I wasn't stressed. I don't really know what was.
Oh, you just can't settle, can you, that night before? And even if I'm like going for a long run, I don't sleep as well the night before.
Yeah.
So a race.
I wasn't fixated on the race. I was just thinking about stuff. But before you know it, 3:45 alarm is beeping away. That's rough. So when you do think about these races, the 13 Valleys starts at tea time. So that's quite a pleasant start. 5 Valleys, I think you've got an extra hour or 2 in bed.
7-6, isn't it? That is mean. But you're up an atom and you're not finishing so late.
You start in the dark and I finished in the dark. On reflection, maybe I should have stayed in Ambleside. That would have cut out the bus journey to Ambleside. Could have had an extra hour in bed, but I would have just been tossing and turning. Yeah, super easy bus transfer. So these are like logistics. Anybody's thinking about, what's going to happen on race morning for future events? Very easy. You tip up at the event village, you get on the bus, it takes you to Ambleside. You can feel the atmosphere. And I wouldn't quite say electric, but yeah, there's definitely that race vibe. They do fill you with anxiety. You can't beat that start line feeling. Now, I'm not a great passenger on a bus, so by the time we got to Ambleside, I was really thankful to get off.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I was having like sick burps already in the race hadn't even started. But yeah, loads of other admin too. If you're thinking, oh my God, when am I going to go for a wee in Ambleside? All of those things are there. You do not need to worry. So if you are a nervous runner thinking about the admin for a race start, 13 Valleys, absolutely nailed it. And then we're off into the dark.
What was your head torch of choice as you ran into the dark? Because you weren't going to need it very long. It started at 6, didn't it?
Yeah, I did miscalculate. I thought I'd only need it in the evening for that last hour or two. I forgot completely about the hour in the morning, but I went for the HL18R-T version 2 from Phoenix.
Look, you are in contact with Phoenix. You are now good pals with them. Can we talk to them about these names? This isn't sustainable. It's exhausting, Gary. Just call it good head torch. Head torch with a nice clicky band. Had to have my red light on. We couldn't find it when we were doing the review.
Yeah.
I couldn't work out how to then turn it on. I was like, what's wrong with this tiny, little red light?
Excellent. But it worked a treat. I can't argue with that. It lasted the hour that I needed it. I did kind of leech off other people's head torches for a bit.
Head torch stealing is an important part if you're saving battery.
But I eventually decided to turn it on. And then that last hour and a half, I think I was going up to Blencathra Centre when I decided, yeah, enough's enough. Well, because there was nobody else's light to steal.
Do you play the game as well? As I play the absolute last minute until I start falling over. And then I'm like,
well, your eyes are climatized, don't they?
I'll turn it on. I don't know who it's playing against. Yeah.
But that worked great. Not that I was really worried too much about weight.
You took a whole bag of honey nut cashews.
I took a whole bag of honey nut cashews.
Have you eaten them?
Your goodness me, yeah, straight away. I smashed it.
So good. I wish I could have licked your fingers after that.
But this was a lightweight option. I had 800 lumens max, so I could turn it on full blast. It didn't burn the batteries. I didn't need to lean onto my spare head torch. So yeah, I think on reflection, if I was doing another race where maybe I'm going to dip into a couple of hours night, then that's the one.
Let's talk about the start. Can we reverse you back out the night a little bit? You started mid-pack in the pen. What were you near the front of that mid-pack, or what was your plan for the starts? Because the first 20k is pretty runnable. Well, it looks runnable. I don't know.
Really, I suppose there's nothing significant in that first 20k until you go past the first checkpoint. You start the climb out of the Langsdales. I felt really good. I was in the middle of the pack deliberately. Well, I was never going to go down the front. I know I'm not going to win these races. So when I'd resigned to the fact that I was doing the Seven Valleys, I did feel quite burnt out after Lakeland 100. So once I decided to go to the Seven Valleys, I did feel a big weight off my shoulders. I'm not going to lie, when I saw the tracker links become available, I think on Friday or Thursday, and I saw the link for the 13 Valleys, I did have a tiny bit of FOMO, but as I was going to bed on Friday night and thinking about all those poor souls running through the first night, they go straight into the dark. But now what it's done, I've kind of reframed it, because I used to be quite numbers and ego, I don't know if that's the right word, or challenge driven, but I've reframed it to now I'd like to do the full set. I'd like to do the 13, the 7, the 5 and the 2. So yeah, no niggles on the start line either. I can't complain. Zero sandbagging. I did mention in the Friday's episode that my heart rate variability had tanked. Yeah, but apart from that, there's no hamstring niggles, nothing at all, zero concerns really. I wish I had something I could say, my back was hurting or this and that, apart from the poor sleep building up to it and my heart rate variability tank. But I think most people will appreciate this if they are tracking their heart rate variability. You might not feel stressed, but there's definitely something going on subconscious. Your body's heightened to the event ahead. So I think it just did skew my temporarily, because it's back in the green again now. It probably will dip once my body just kind of balances itself out and see what's going on. But my plan for this race was try and park all the ego, not race, religiously stick to no greater than 130 beats a minute on my heart rate. I do. I know a lot of people run to feel that's not how I operate. 130 beats was my kind of red line, unless I was on a climb. And I knew later on in the race that even on a climb, I wouldn't be able to propel myself with 130 beats. It just seems you can't generate the force. Well, I can't anyway, kind of 60 odd miles into a race. But it isn't easy. Although I'm saying to myself, this wasn't a race. It was not even a time trial. It was a trial, for the effort to the vomiting to the fuel. That was basically what this was about as far as what I'm going to get out of the race. But it's not easy watching the pack drift off. Because
you were that first checkpoint, you were quite a way behind where you finished.
Was that big? I wonder if that was people DNFing. I suppose it'd be a combination of DNF.
No, I think it was a case of people going off really fast.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. But also, I'd like to start training for Northern Traverse relatively soon. So if I did race it, Yeah, I am scared. I really am scared. So if I did race it, I wouldn't be sitting here now on, was it Wednesday? I could run today. I'm not going to run today, but I could run today. There's no DOMs. Yesterday, Tuesday, was probably the worst day. Even like, well, we've just a few days out reflecting back on it. It was conversation pace. I don't ever remember thinking I can't hold the conversation. They're definitely red flags. Yeah, on some of the climbs early on when you're kind of a bit pumped, there was some energy dips, and I'm not too sure if there were energy dips or maybe like more of a mental desire to ease off the effort. I'm not quite sure. So I'll sound like a complete arsehole if I say it was easy, but it would have been super easy just to walk or slow right down. But I think it was just to be easy with purpose, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. And checkpoint 1, that's in the Langdales. This was early on, so I didn't really need a boost then. But when you're doing these big, long races, sometimes it's great that something unexpected drags you out of a funk. And this came early on. To see Nick Watson, who was a Dragon's Back race tent member from 2023, I had no idea he was going to be there. Just a chance coincidence that we bumped into each other. Constantly throughout the race, actually, I was punctuated with little uplifts, which some people might not get because they don't have this luxury of doing it.
Not a celebrity. You know, you normal people, you won't get this. You won't understand it. Gary.
And I did bump into, actually, and this did take me, it kind of caught me off guard. Some listeners sent in, from the Trail Running or Trail Runner Nation, TRN. Anyway, they were on that checkpoint too. So it's been my tale since probably the first Lakeland 100, where we are graced with people that we either know personally or listen to the podcast. So yeah, I'm always getting these little boosts. The kind of lead group, they went off, and then there were maybe half a dozen of us probably yo-yoed all the way to Rostthwaite.
About 30k?
Yeah, that sounds about right. You are aware at that point you've done a few miles. I took a tumble on some technical
shut
stuff.
Up. What was your trainer of choice in the end?
I went for the Altra Mont Blanc Speed Carbon. If it was filthy wet, then yeah, some of those trails that would have, well, every shoe would have struggled, but that only has like 3 or 3.5 mil lugs.
I was wondering that this morning because I was running in my 3.5 lugs, maybe 4, but on mud they are just lethal. There's nothing there. But if you go any bigger, deeper lug, then running on like hard packed stuff or road is horrible. So do you take the skid on the mud?
I'll always take the hit. I'll always take the hit on the mud.
Yeah, well, I've seen you take the hit a number of times. Yeah, I think that's the thing, because I was thinking, you can re-cobble the bottom and you can get someone to put a bigger lug on them. And I thought,
the Keystone Cobbler.
Yeah, I was thinking, should I get a bigger lug on these trainers for like winter? Because so much of the running around here is muddy. And then I was like, but then there's still punctuated with like a mile on the road or whatever. And that is horrible with a lug on it.
Well, this race, the 7 valleys and the 13 valleys, is quite unusual. You've got, unlike the Lakeland 100, which feels more yo-yo, you might have 2 climbs between each checkpoint, 1 or 2 climbs. Probably fair to say that the checkpoints are a little bit further apart on the 13 valleys. But in between that, sometimes you have quite a lot of running, especially say from Ambleside to Grasmere for those sections, the Mont Blanc Carbon. I think they're like 30 mil form, so they're not like huge like the Turex or the North Face Vective 3. And I've used these for 2 or 3 years now. And even on filthy Lakeland 100 days, I've used them then. After, I'd say, Rostthwaite, I think the field had really thinned out. Got to Grasmere, no real dramas there. Now we saw Lawrence Basham, Reverend Lawrence came and said hello to me.
Blessed you. You are doing well, my friend. Keep your eyes on the Lord and the light, which will shine upon you.
I was saying hello to every dog I saw on that trail.
That is an important part. You will actually, the devil would spur you down if you didn't say hello to dogs on that bit of trail.
My memory up until that point, it was a total different, and it, I suppose, continued throughout the race. It was a completely different checkpoint experience. 2024 13 Valleys was like feeling sorry for myself, half an hour plus. I don't know if they do the dwell time on open tracking back in 2024, but I'd love to go back and see how much time I sat on my backside on 2024's 13 Valleys. Quite amazing, actually, still how much time I managed to faff on, especially Blencathra, where I lost 2 places in Blencathra. But I thought I was just going in, filling my bottles up, taking a bit of food, maybe eating some food physically in the checkpoint, and then off I go. But yeah, I think total dwell time was probably maybe like 40 odd minutes, I think, for this.
40 minutes?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Oh, what, total dwell time?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant at that one checkpoint. And I was like,
oh, goodness me. Well, that's what I was doing at literally each checkpoint in the 13 Valleys.
I remember I was getting feedback from everybody. He's under a blanket, he's by the fire, he's having marshmallows, he's singing songs, he's puking in the cup.
And I think that was the first time. So me and a lady called Leonie, who went on to win the 7 Valleys ladies race. I bumped into Leonie on the climb out of Thwaites, just towards the top. And I think it's fascinating that there was a couple of people, me, Leonie, and Oliver, another guy who I met just outside of Ambleside. We stayed together on and off until the very end, or pretty much the very end of that race, give or take 5 or 10 minutes between us. And at any point, somebody could get a gap and you'd think, I'm never going to see them again. So long, suckers. And then you turn around, for some reason, not that I'm running scared, but you turn around and they're there. They're literally right on the shoulder. And vice versa. The amount of times I'd see Oliver just go off into the distance and think, well, see you later, Oliver. Or Leonie too. Going up High Street, she was off. But by the time we got to High Street, we were all back together again. And then she vanished again, but only to reconnect on the way down into the filling station checkpoint. So it's wild that you may think, unlike, say, maybe a road marathon where you're running consistently, the trail kind of exploits people's strengths and weaknesses. So you think you've gone past someone. I always think if I go past somebody at 50 miles in a race, I'm probably not going to see them again.
Yeah.
But Oliver and Leonie kept me company for hours and hours and hours. Troutbeck, I think that's probably where maybe started to faff. That was where everybody's drop bags were.
I was going to ask, because it goes, the Seven Valleys route is like a loop from Ambleside.
Yeah, psychologically coming back to Ambleside. Is
that not good, or is that good?
No.
Oh, I'd have thought you're not then like, okay, halfway there, off we go again. No.
Well, because you realise the enormity of the task. You're halfway there.
Because you're like, I'm a bit tired. I'd like to stop.
Yeah, that took me 7 whatever hours. I'm going to do that all over again, and I know I'm still going up to High Street. And this is what I would suggest maybe to people. I knew on this route that High Street was the filthiest climb of the day. So every time I never want to use, this is horrible, this is bad, this is worse. I always try and take the worst out of the negative out of the sentence. So every time I was struggling, I was like, well, this is better than High Street. This is better than High Street. And that works until you're on High Street. You can't play this is better than High Street when you're actually trying to climb High Street.
And then how bad was High Street? Was it as bad when you're actually on it? Are you not like, I'm on it at last? Oh, what's so bad about it?
It just seems to go on and on and on. You run down the valley, which takes forever. You think, this is Oliver was saying, when are we going to start climbing? And I'm like, no, you keep your powder dry. And you see people like just zigzagging up this climb. And yeah, I suppose on paper, I've not really checked the elevation, but it's wild. I think all these things that are tough, when you get to the top, it's not gnarly like Leg 4, Scarfell Pike. It's not those kind of landscapes. It's very rolling. It is absolutely totally worth the climb. So I probably burned too many matches. I said about this 130 hard.
I was going to call that before you even started talking. When you were like, whatever I did, I was going to go, yep, you went too hard. But let's unpick it.
I can't remember if Oliver was behind me or ahead of me at that time, but it was always us three until, like I say, until the bitter end. So I didn't really, although I keep saying to myself, I'm not racing Gary, I'm not racing Gary, I'm not racing Gary. But you still do find yourself in these like little mini tussles. I'm pretty sure all two of those were like, we're not racing each other, but you don't want that elastic to get too far. Anyway, that resulted in me getting to the top of High Street, tried a Morton gel. So we must be over 10 hours in. So I'm thinking from a nutrition point of view and the vomiting point of view, happy days, this is great. Immediately put the Morton gel in. That came back up straight away. And then it really, out of nowhere, turned my stomach that I just projectile vomited all of my Huel shake, all the nutrition I'd taken to Troutbeck. Everything came up. I did the old kind of trying to hold my mouth and swallow it back down, but no, it was coming through my fingers. Poor Leonie got all of this. Yeah, she just ditched me like a bad penny. And
too right. She's a doctor, did you say? She was like, nah, it's my day job. Don't need that. You're fine.
Oh, I don't know what she does medicine in if she's that kind of doctor. But that was really bizarre because I thought, fucking hell, not again. Like, 5 hours of this. Obviously got rid of a load of carbohydrate. I'd taken some paracetamol just to kind of ease some aches and pains. So all that had gone. But I had a bit of a puke-and-rally. I caught Oliver up. Oliver had bitten me off too. I caught Oliver up. And then I started chasing Leonie too and caught Leonie up before with the descent into the filling station. And we stayed together going down that descent. But my goodness me, I think we both set each other up. It was so technical. So bearing in mind, this is all flagged from Ambleside onwards. So in theory, no nav issues. Both of us somehow managed to just follow one path. Not far. You watch beeps. Probably was it 50 meters when you're off track or something like that. I then must have put quite a gap into Leonie because I remember coming into that checkpoint before her and Oliver. And again, I'm thinking, that's it. I've never seen these again. And then I left the filling station super quick in and out of there. It's all branded up Altra. Got to give Altra a shout out there. And then we head off to Patterdale, Glenriddin, that kind of area. And that's when I know, literally, you've got one significant climb. Glendatera, apologies if somebody else is thinking that the climbing up to Blencathra Centre is a significant climb. But in the scheme of the race, Styx Pass is the last significant challenge. You get into that's such a tempting checkpoint. You could literally sit there for hours. The fire's on. There's pizzas.
Which one? Which checkpoint is that one? Sorry, the Glenriddin one.
Glenriddin, yeah. It's not the actual youth hostel. It's a little bit further up the hill. So again, you've cracked maybe a mile and a bit of the climb up to Styx Pass.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that idea. That is nice, isn't it? Because you just sort of mentally, you're sort of like, you're not thinking about the climb because you're thinking, where the bloody hell's this checkpoint?
Yeah. And what I was finding quite a lot, actually, this is probably something that happens to quite a few trail runners. I don't know if it was my pack or just the clothes that I had on, or definitely when I had poles, the noises it was making, it constantly made me feel like somebody was right on my heels.
Oh, I get that, Gary. I get that. And you turn around and there's
nobody there.
Or is
nobody
there?
But you could quite easily, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, you could quite easily I think I spent probably an hour in that checkpoint last year, sitting by the fire. After I'd been sick, I consciously eased off the heart rate, not by a lot. I'm not saying it went from, say, no more than 130 beats a minute to 110 beats a minute. I was just super conscious to maybe, I don't know, like 120 beats a minute. I flipped to a combination of Baby Bells. It was like a savoury and then sweet. And it could be mint cake or Freddos, just to keep that trickling carbohydrate coming in. But because I'd slowed down a bit, I don't think I needed so much. And I was drinking Tailwind too, just sipping on Tailwind and water. I had a kind of Active Root Tailwind and water going on in my drinks bottles. And that really just kept on top of the nausea, but still gave me enough energy to keep moving forward. So when I've been super scared and depressed about the potential thought of being sick for days in the Northern Traverse, I do see there's some light that you can come out of the end of the tunnel, and even to a point where before the climb up to the Blencathra Centre, there was a bin there. So I had loads of Baby Bell wax wrappers and everything so I just had to get rid of all my rubbish. And there was this lonely Morton gel in the waist belt, and I just thought, should we try it? Should we give it a go?
Slug.
This is Morton do not support the podcast. This is not a plug for them, but because it stays like a jelly consistency,
slug felt like consistency. I think.
Well, I could bite it, neck a mouthful of drink, and then swallow. So it took me a while, but 13 hours into that day, I could
You're back on the gels.
I could still take gels. Yeah,
I love it.
I was super pleased with that. Yeah, Styx Pass, getting to the top of Styx Pass. Oliver was behind me, and I think, you know me, Eddie, I'm quite reserved. I know it's quite strange. We do this podcast for a living, but I let out an audible yell at the top of Styx Pass.
Did you? What did you yell? You like a sort of wolf?
Freedom! It was just relief. I was super tempted, to go down Styx Pass, the other side. Anyone who's done the Two to Helvellyn knows the fell line, and you think, I just want to go to the right of the path. That's where I'd be going on Two to Helvellyn day. But when the route is flagged, there's no excuse. You can't deviate off that path. Went down there. There's somebody, oh my goodness me, it's such a good position for the mountain rescue team. There was a mountain rescue team looking after a runner who took a tumble coming off Styx Pass. I think they're probably tactically placed because it's not an overly technical trail, but if it's wet, it's quite treacherous.
People are tired, and it's getting dark, is it?
No, sorry. Still in daylight.
Okay. Sun's right up.
I just was up and about. I put in a real...
You put a shift in, lads. Good shift,
I put a shift,
lads.
Well, I undid it. I self-sabotaged myself at the end. So all the way down St. John's in the Vale, I really ran well there. I looked round. I couldn't see Oliver. I couldn't see Leonie at all.
I love this mini race. They're going to be like, we saw Gary a few times, and they didn't know they were huge part of your day.
Oliver put the afterburners in at the end, so I think we were both living rent-free in each other's heads. But when we came off, it's like a detour, not a detour, they rerouted the route. You don't go through the infamous cow fields, which I was a little bit disappointed about because I thought they were hilarious when I was slipping and sliding through them last year. But they take you on a much more pleasant trail, and then you hit the road. I don't know why. I couldn't complain. There's so many flags taking to the left. I hit the road and took a right and just started. Because in my geography, my head, Threlkeld is to my right, while you had to do like a little bit of a dog leg. You had to go left to go right. Eventually realised my mistake, came back. I still couldn't see Oliver or Leonie, but they must have gained a couple of minutes, 2 or 3 minutes on me. So kicking myself, that and the little nav error coming into the filling station checkpoint, they're the things that you reflect on. But there will always be that. On every race, I don't think there's been one race where everything is fallen.
No, it's all part of handling it. Going the wrong way, take a breath, get a snack. Retrack.
Off you go. It gets similar to Lakeland 100 territory. You get on this little, the railway lines in between Thwaites and Keswick, and then you start a road journey up to the Blencathra Centre. And that's where I think the faff cost me. I came into that checkpoint first. I knew Oliver was hot on my heels because I could see head torch. I'm in there. It was super busy. You know, we'd been VIP treatment up until then. Everybody was filling all your bottles up, putting your electrolytes in. But by this time, we had 5 Valleys runners, 7 Valleys runners, probably severely broken 13 Valleys runners in there too. You didn't have the luxury of that kind of VIP treatment. So all of a sudden, and I'd say first world problems, I'm filling my own bottles up. I'm putting my own electrolytes in there.
Oh, exhausting for you.
It was. I was all fingers and thumbs. So I really took too long. Both Leonie and Oliver came in after me and left before me. In one respect, I was pleased with myself that I did the faff. I stopped. I put my jacket on. It was raining. I was super tempted, like Oliver did, just rolled the weather dice, and he went off with his T-shirt on. And if I was to do the race again, and I had all this information, I don't know why I didn't do it. I overestimated how long that last section was going to take me. So I really oversupplied food.
Oh, okay.
Could have literally just topped my bottle up. All I needed was a few chunks of mint cake and the bits of Ming and Baby Bell that was still in my little stretchy pockets, and I could have been off, could have saved 2 or 3 minutes easily there. But I made myself, these are the moments where do you just kind of feel sorry for yourself, or do you move on? And I made myself a little deal that I'm not going to lose any more places, although on a race that I've said constantly to myself, I'm not racing, but I had these little mini races. But now you'd say to yourself, okay, there's an hour, 2 hours to go, whatever. You can roll the dice a bit. So I said 100% do not ship any places. If someone's going to catch you, they've got to work for it. You can't just give it to them. This point in the race, the 7 Valleys are the only people that are running. The 5 Valleys are definitely the walkers. They've been out quite a long time. Forgive me if I passed anybody. I'm not aware of any of the 5 Valleys that were running, so it was quite obvious to see who your targets were. Caught Leonie up, had a little chat, thought I would catch Oliver up, not to be seen again, but I did literally just coming into Keswick, that final descent as you come off Skiddaw before you cross the bridge.
You relive some happy memories of us skipping down there, holding hands.
Skipping down there. And I saw another runner, so I thought, there's a good chance that this guy's, game on here. But then part of me's thinking, I don't want to race through Keswick. I don't want to be rinsing myself into Crow Park.
I'll back you through Crow Park if I was going to back anyone. As a marathoner.
Well, you never know who the other person is. Yeah, I think, I'm a sub-3 marathoner. I can do this. I've got some legs on me. But he could be a sub-230 marathoner. Who knows? But I always do my little, if I'm going to go past somebody, I need to do it with conviction.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'll give it the old, how you doing? He said something to me and I can't remember what it was. I don't know if I upset him somehow.
Oh my God, all you've done is upset people. The farmer.
No, I can't remember what he said. That was not me who upset the farmer. So when you come onto the road in Keswick, there's a right turn, and then maybe 30 metres down the road, there's a left turn as you go into Fitz Park, I think. Yeah, Fitz Park. So I thought in my head, I'm not going to look round. I'm not running scared. I'm not going to let him know that I'm running scared. If I can get to Fitz Park before he's got on the road, he's just not seen me. That in my head, I broke his heart. He's not coming back.
Give a badoodles.
Well, exactly. I wonder if he could or he couldn't. I'm not too sure. I'm sure, I would have been a bit upset if somebody had gone past me maybe a mile to go in a 68-mile race. Well, he would have shipped a place to Oliver too, and then me, so he's lost 2 places in that last mile or so. Anyway, yeah, I didn't see him again. In my mind, I've determined I wasn't going to turn around, so I was running scared, running through Keswick. So again, my experience from last time when I did it, I ran through Keswick at maybe 5:30 in the morning, so pretty safe to say the vibe was pretty sleepy. Whatever time it was, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, because I was in bed. So I reckon.
It was, people had enjoyed a few beers around Keswick. So there was a bunch of drunk guys. They made a human arch for me. It was incredible. I ran through this. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, ran to Crow Park. Finished. I had a couple of mates there at the end, Liam and Aaron. They are much better friends than me. I didn't go and wave Chris in. I'm such a emojis. Love our emojis. That's about what people get from me. They haven't produced this maybe this is total ego. I might have been the first V50. There's no recognition in categories. It's just like 1, 2, 3, male and female.
That's interesting. But I thought they would do categories.
Everybody, I might be.
Do you check
I
their
might have got it
beards?
wrong.
Check their pubes. You got great pubes?
Everybody's got a younger complexion than I did. I've checked all. I'm such a sad case. I've checked all.
You check their photo. You are. Oh my God. You are here going, Eddie. I'm so busy. I can't do this, Eddie. And you're checking photos.
Oh, we've always got time for that useless stuff.
Always tracking. Always time. Right. Okay. So, learnings, anything? We talked about your trainers, kit choice. Talked about your head torch. Talked about your fueling. Anything we've missed out? You weren't in your Adidas shorts.
Yeah, my orange.
Oh, they were your orange ones. I forget they're orange. What do you wear on your top?
Old school Helly Hansen base layer.
Classic. Why have we stayed away? Why Helly Hansen? They should be big. I love my Helly Hansens and they're still going strong.
A listener from Canada, Steve Taylor, he sent me some buffs in exchange for some Tea and Trail buffs. We had a bit of international dealings. He sent me a little red and black buff from Canada, so I took that with me on my journey.
Oh, I love that. So you love the mindset of like, I'm not in a race, even though you've just spent 40 minutes talking about racing these two people all the way around.
But it's quite a luxury. You can dip in and out of it, can't you?
You had to give yourself something mentally to work with these people. But I do believe that, as you said, once you're like 10, 20 miles into these long races, you do tend to end up in your tribe. There's always somebody that's going to come through like a steam train. But also you do end up kind of like, and so it's a good way to keep you motivated and to keep you moving is to like have these like mini friendly races.
I was so surprised. Leonie and I had shared quite a few miles from Rosthwaite onwards. I saw Oliver in Ambleside, saw somebody else in Ambleside, lost in Ambleside, so they followed me out of Ambleside. I saw Oliver and I just thought, get in. That's another one. I've got him. And he beat me. You know, it's fantastic. So I
love it.
Probably what I don't know. I've not checked his splits. Maybe he was only like, I never ever saw him, but maybe he was only ever 5 minutes ahead of me all race. I was just blissfully unaware he was there. So he was never somebody who'd raced off and he was burned out, which is what I initially thought. 30 miles into a race, you'd think, game over. I'll see you at the finish. But no, he kept me. I think it was good. We both kept each other honest, you know. Frenemies is probably the best. Is that what they say? Frenemies? Not racing each other, but yes, equally racing each other.
I'm racing everybody. I'm not secret about it. If you're ahead of me, I'm trying to beat you. If you're behind me, I'm trying to get away from you. Man, woman, dog, I don't care.
As I finished the race and I wandered off into the night in search of nutrition. So yeah, Keswick at that time of night, it's like quite boozy. You know, so you don't really want to go.
The dark side of Classic. Don't go out there at night time.
All the chippies were shut, and there was 2 pizzeria kebab joints were open. One in the town centre, right next to the Moot Hall. That's a bit rowdy. So I went to the one near Boo's, up-class establishment. Because of the temperature had dropped, I was there in like full waterproofs and like head torch on, ordering some shish kebab or whatever it was. But I couldn't eat it. I was like just wandering around the dark in Keswick with this.
So you just fitted in with all the drunks and everything.
But I had it for breakfast the next day. Cold kebab. That onion breath first thing in the morning.
Delicious. We've all been there. I think I always, you know, you go to bed with the pizza next to you and you wake up at 4 starving. I think it's the best bit of ultra running.
Sitting there watching Match of the Day.
In your pants.
Oh, Sunderland won as well. Sunderland won. Got a point from, sorry, Forest fans, if you're listening.
Is that the first point?
Oh, we're like 5th in the league or something.
Shut up. I don't hear anything.
Early
about
days.
Sunderland, to be fair.
I think Sunderland are playing Tottenham soon.
Whoa, big match going to come round. You can all sit in your pants.
But there's some highs and lows, you know.
Beer.
Getting to the top of Sticks Pass, I'd say that was a high in the event and feeling in a position where I could still run.
You're still racing.
I don't want to come across like a knob because my race is completely different.
That's done.
People.
We've done this podcast long enough.
But in relative terms, I was fresh and in control. The task, unlike previous years, hadn't overwhelmed me. The puke hadn't stopped and spoiled every step after that. I asked a question of like my heart, my arms, my legs, my lungs. It delivered. I think after what you've said earlier, it's been quite a busy year, mentally and physically. It's October now. Yeah, I was super chuffed with that. Lows, yeah, the vomit, it's still there. You know, it's not really, I was really had everything on the fact that the maltodextrin was it?
Well, I think it's a big part of it, maybe.
Big part of it, yeah, but it's not the total cure. But then again, I back that up with the fact that I reframed the nutrition, slowed things off a bit. Silly nav. I navved that section about 2 weeks ago, parked up at Thirlmere car park and ran to the finish. So I literally did it 2 weeks ago and I still took a wrong turn and it's flagged. I had absolutely no excuse. I was probably so focused on Oliver behind me that just took my eye off the ball. But yeah, fun times. Learnings though, you said about learnings. I think just having that discipline, maturity to ease off a little bit.
Maturity.
Experience.
That's not a word I'd use. That's never popped up in any AI search. The Mature podcast.
Just to ease off a bit. And that is the luxury of this race. I wouldn't have done the Lakeland 100, if I wasn't in the dream team with all of us from 2025. If I was on my own, there would have been a whole different story.
Yeah, you've got some data of where you need to be to stop that vomiting.
I was done and dusted with 100 miles. The Northern Traverse was my last big venture out onto the trail.
Well, we all know that's not true. But we're going with you on this journey and agreeing with you. I'm proud of you, buddy. I'm proud of you for stepping up for another big race. One of us has to be there on the trails and handling it and doing what you said you're going to do. That not many middle-aged men can do that. You do take the ego out of the running. And well done for handling yourself. I had good reports of you at various checkpoints.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, you were nice, you were kind, you're friendly, talked to people. Good. You'd held our flag up high. Did we talk on the? I've forgotten. We've talked for so long now. Whether we meant you. I said to you, you're gonna have a bit of off season now, and you were like, no. Start training. Just a little word from your friendly coach, who's not your coach. It's a long time until the end of March to mentally prepare for something. You've done a lot of races. You need to step away a little bit from the gas, from the plan, give back a little bit, mentally allow a little bit of downtime. Otherwise, you've got nowhere to go because you haven't put a line in the sand to go.
I will see what
There's no rush.
Alban app suggests next week.
Okay, you'll see what the AI app says over the physical person saying, I've done this many, many times.
It might give me some grace.
Didn't it give you a...
It's given me zero work all week until Saturday where it says, there's literally nothing to do.
What does it say on Saturday? Steady effort, 10 miles.
No, it might be a couple of hours, but just super easy. I've not read the date. I will tell you the dates. Come on then. Let's see what it says. So Monday, prehab. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, prehab. Thursday, nothing. Friday, prehab. Saturday, nothing. Sunday, short, long run. Wow. 2 hours 10. 2 hours 39.
I mean, where's the thinking? Like, you've not done anything. You don't know how your body's going to feel. I don't know what the energy's going to feel. So you're going to go out and run potentially 18 miles.
I'll take some ownership. I'm pretty sure I will not be doing.
That's all I say. We'll leave it there. Fun times. I love it. And I look forward to next year, what your story is going to be, adding to the slate and coming out of another race unscathed. So next week you'll be back with your easy, steady tempo threshold, low key.
Yeah, I can't believe Garmin had me down for a threshold run. That is wild.
That's all wild. Do you want a quick five? Quick five. You've got 3 minutes. What's your pump up song before a big run or a race?
Oh, I'm banging the System of a Down at the moment. So
Lord above. Is that
Toxicity.
Is that going to be your Instagram story music?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay, love it. Early morning runs or late night miles? Which one do you prefer?
Well, for a workout, it's a PM, but for running, generally early mornings.
You get so much more out of yourself later on in the day, but then it hangs over.
Rex is more relaxed, it's much more pleasant. There's not so many. See, because all the kind of naughty kids come out at night. Mornings. Nobody
that never even crosses my mind where I live. If you go for a long run with any athlete or any person, living or dead, who would it be? You can't choose me.
Steve Irwin, no hesitation. I still love Steve Irwin.
You've mentioned him a few times the last week or so. What one piece of running advice you swear by?
Patience. Yeah. Just try and be look at your face. I don't always, do as I say, not as I do. But yeah, if you can have patience.
Have a little. I think a band made a good song about that.
We've been blessed, we've been doing this for a long, long time. Again, it's something I say quite often, people burn bright and you don't see them again.
But you burn bright every day.
I want to be doing this in 20 years' time, in some form of it. Yeah. Hobbling around.
Those shorts really are threadbare now. Would you rather run a marathon in Crocs or do hill repeats, max effort with a hangover?
I'm terrible with booze. Hangovers, no.
I've never seen you hangover, but...
Well, the Crocs, you just put them sport mode and you're in.
Oh, Oh, I think you'd have terrible blisters. We just touched on it then. What's your Instagram story? We put this out on the socials. I'm so bad at it. I never
Every
do
week
it.
we share the podcast on Instagram. It's a song. Well, my current favorite band is System of a Down. It's a song called Aerials. Some lyrics from this song, Aerials, and it goes, "Swimming through the void, we hear the word, we lose ourselves, but we find it all." I just think that is like the long run.
Say it again. Swim. Oh, sorry. I haven't
Swimming through the void, we hear the word, we lose ourselves, but we find it all. Because we are the ones that want to play, always want to go, but never want to stay. And we are the ones that want to choose, always want to play, but you never want to lose. I just thought that's the Ultra.
That is it. Always want to play, never want to lose. It's a Sutton family motto.
We're going to treat you all with the System of a Down song.
Well, sorry about that, but the words are good. Thanks, Gather. Thanks for sharing. Enjoyed following you along that little route. Enjoyed tracking you. You're a ledge, as ever, living and learning, always learning, and every day is a school day. If you're doing the race, well done, kudos. If perhaps Gary's inspired you, I think entries are already open, flying off the shelves.
I wonder if they've got a section on the entry, like, where did you hear about the event?
Oh my God, I had a headache. Can we talk about something different from now on next week? Jeez, we're all done.
Northern Traverse now, every week.
Oh, we're all done. We promised in October we're going to be talking a little bit more about, I don't know what Gary's next, how he's going to prepare next, but if he doesn't have an off season, well, I've got him then, haven't I, everybody? We all know I've given him the words of wisdom. He's not going to listen. And I'll have him.
We'll see.
We'll see. Love you. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Thanks for sharing the story. And there's hope for all us pukers out there. And I think it is take the tempo out. But now we've got to learn. Now we've got to work out how to get the tempo back up and to be fueling these.
It's not a lot though. You don't need to turn it into a walk. Just a little. Just burn a different type of gas. I think that.
Woo! Burn a different type of gas.
Yeah. I should say I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the volunteers. There was a professional team out on the trails too. Everybody who helped out. Incredible event from start to finish. As soon as I put my foot in that event village to wandering off into the dark. Kebab. Oh, something we shouldn't have done. So we booked, well, thanks Chris for booking it. We booked an Airbnb in Keswick. It must have had like 20 stories, this Airbnb. And on the Friday, when I'm fresh, I'm like top of the Airbnb. Saturday night, Sunday morning, sad times. I needed Russell's one of his wee bottles because the thought of going downstairs.
Oh my God, just go out the window, Gary.
Yeah,
you're a hero. You're a hero in all senses of the word. Rest up now.
Promise.